by the way, also Canelo Alvarez, getting back to the actual like podcast part of this, he said, or is questioning Terence Crawford's resume, saying that like what win or whatever does he
Errol
have?
Spence.
Well, okay, I saw multiple people on Twitter saying that Errol Spence is a better win than anything Canelo has on his resume.
Do you believe that?
I don't know, but we can talk about it after this. I think it's something worth discussing.
I thought it was extremely disrespectful because Spence was that dude before Bud annihilated him in the ring. I don't care what anybody says. Spence was one of the best welterweights in the world at that time. In fact, a lot of people were taking Spence to beat Bud in that fight. I remember that. And so let's not take away Spence's accolades here. He was one of the best welterweights that we saw during the last 10 years or so, Bryan. So I don't understand how he can say that he hasn't beat anybody. And I do want to take a look at Canelo's resume now, because that actually kind of ticked me off, Bryan.
I'll pull it up after this. It is true. I just want to see where this goes for a little bit longer. Again, ring courtesy.
Just mention me one elite fighter.
So Postal wasn't elite?
Who?
Victor Postal.
Who's that guy?
Oh, so he wasn't commercialized. He wasn't.
Who's
he
that
wasn't
Postal?
great. Ricky Burns wasn't elite.
What? 40 years old champion in that moment beat Mr. Postal in my gym. I saw that.
So Ricky Burns wasn't elite.
Ricky Burns doesn't elite.
Okay,
he's not elite.
It's cool.
Is there a champion?
I'm going to fight another elite.
There is
fighter
a champions,
in
good fighters, but elite fighters is different. Wait.
So I'm gonna fight an elite fighter in September.
Yeah. Okay.
Then we're
gonna find out.
We're gonna find out.
And don't get me wrong, you're a great fighter.
I know I'm great.
You're a great fighter. But you're gonna find out. I hope your uncle Turki Alashi pay you enough money, because you're gonna be.
He called Turk his uncle, bro.
He said a few things. He was saying like, "Oh, I know Turk wants you to win" at the presser. Canelo said that. He's like, "I know Turk really wants you to win, but he's gonna be like." He said some stuff like that. I forget what he said.
Does he?
But yeah,
you think so?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, I think Bud is more of his guy than Canelo.
Well, right? He's been with him longer.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Like, legitimately, look, I'm not necessarily Turk super fan number one.
Not at all.
I don't know if he cares who wins this fight. I legitimately don't know. Maybe is there a vendetta against Canelo Alvarez for taking so long to come to terms with him? I mean, they ultimately came to terms, so I don't know if he'll have like. Look, he wants Hamza Shiraz to beat Edgar Berlanga. I'm not sure he feels like that strongly one way or the other here, but I'm open to being wrong on that.
That's a very good fight, by the way. I'm very excited for it because Shiraz is very skilled, but I do want to see Berlanga knock him out. And then I want the narrative to be like, what's up with these UK fighters? I'm sick. I'm so sorry.
It may be.
We got 15 seconds left on this, roughly.
Maybe.
I hope he pay you enough.
The camera work is excellent. I'll say that much. Also, they're clearly putting a lot of money. Maybe
I do like Bud's fit. I like Bud's fit, actually.
Yeah,
it's nice.
Yeah,
but after fighters fight me, they never the same. So I just hope your career continue.
If you look at my career, never same after me.
Okay, let's do it. We have Canelo Alvarez's resume, because you wanted me to pull it up.
Yes.
And then move on with the show. So Canelo here is fighting Terence Crawford in September, obviously. Leading up to this, not a great run of opponents recently. So you have to go back a while. But Terence Crawford's best win, we would all agree, is Errol Spence. Canelo Alvarez's best win is against who off the top of your head? Is it Golovkin, or is it not? Because like the Golovkin,
listen, there's controversy with that. Like Triple G won the first, the second was a draw. This is what I think. I think Triple G won the first. I think the second was the draw, and then Triple G was hella old in the third one.
I'd agree with that.
And so I don't count those. I just can't look at those victories because the whole thing really ticked me off. That trilogy.
Cotto was so much smaller. Like I love Miguel Cotto. He was so much smaller, and he wasn't like
older.
At that point.
He wasn't peak.
He was 15-year pro at that point. Why do I keep getting this American Eagle ad, bro? Look, American Eagle joggers are the shit, but like you ain't
Also,
getting me
like,
with
also
more.
Lara is like, if some people could say that Lara won that fight, it's debatable.
I thought Lara won that fight barely, but
Yeah.
I gave that one to Erasandi Lara. Austin Trout after beating Miguel Cotto. Like,
Is
you
that his
know,
best?
like I think it has to be so okay. It has to be Golovkin, maybe Danny Jacobs. If you don't think the Golovkin one is convincing enough, we're gonna keep going here. Like you can go from the bottom. Like Jose Miguel Cotto was kind of like the breakout fight or one of the breakout fights, like one of the early ones. He was at the MGM Grand. It was a big card, et cetera, et cetera. And then if you just go on down the line, Shane Mosley, it becomes Shane Mosley, right? Because that's better than anything else that we saw in between Jose Miguel Cotto up until like Herman Cintron. Yeah, it's Shane Mosley, and then it's Austin Trout. I think from here, right? Josecito Lopez, Austin Trout. So okay, Trout's like the king right now. Trout or Lara?
Is that his most elite fighter? Is that what we're saying?
Is like, what's a better win for him? Is it Trout because it's more convincing, or is it Lara because Lara was better than Trout, in my opinion?
I think it's Lara. I think it would have to be Lara for me. And I don't know if he convincingly won that fight.
All y'all watching this, do y'all like, how should we grade it? Like, do you think Austin Trout is a better win than Erislandy Lara because it was a unanimous decision, or is the Lara win better because Lara was better than Trout? Unless you think Trout was better than Lara at this point, which I wouldn't agree with that. But
also, chat, let us know what you think is Canelo's most elite win, because that would help us out as well. What do you think on his resume is the most elite win? Because right now we're taking a look, and to be honest, I think Bud Spence fight was better. But I do want to get to one comment that we saw. And by the way, guys, we will get to your comments, okay?
Yeah.
I saw a comment,
and we got to keep going with this because we got to answer.
Yes, yeah, by Steven. Not in hindsight, Spence was not in his prime. The way his face puffed up in the fourth was not normal. Here's the thing, Steven. I think we look at it after and think about the two accidents he was in and the orbital damage and all of that, and then we're like, okay.
Too.
Yeah, so then we kind of look at it and we're like, okay, he wasn't in his prime, but before Bud did that to him, nobody was talking about that. Nobody was saying that Spence wasn't in his prime, right? We were saying it after, but I definitely see your point. Anyways, Brian, go ahead, keep going.
All right, let's just pick between Trout and Lara. What are we going with the better win for Canelo?
I'm going with Lara.
Okay. And Trout was off the Miguel Cotto win too. Like that was kind of a high, but I would probably agree with that. Okay, Lara or Cotto? It's still Lara because that version of Cotto.
Because Cotto wasn't Cotto when he fought Canelo.
And he was also like on fight night, he had like a 30-pound disadvantage or something.
Yeah, like, it was ridiculous.
Amir Khan, Liam Smith, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., and then it's Golovkin here. All right, this probably has to be Golovkin then. If we're going through all the wins, it has to be the second Golovkin fight, but that was debatable.
All of it's debatable.
So to Terence Crawford's point, or I would say the people saying, holding up the Errol Spence victory, you're looking at Canelo's biggest win, and it's like the convincing one is Austin Trout right now. We have to go through the rest of the resume. Otherwise, you're looking at Gennady Golovkin or Erislandy Lara. It's going to be Golovkin if that's the case. But Golovkin was debatable. And then if you keep going, Danny Jacobs. Would you say Danny Jacobs or Austin Trout? It's actually an interesting.
That's tough. I've always been a Danny Jacobs fan, so I'm biased, but I think Austin Trout would generally be the one I think people would take. But I would personally pick Danny Jacobs. I'm sorry, but it's tough. No disrespect to Austin Trout. I didn't pick him either time, but
we'll breeze through the rest of this. Kovalev, Callum.
Kovalev wasn't Kovalev at that time, though. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, Callum Smith, Caleb Plant is an interesting one to toss in there.
That's actually a good one, I feel. Caleb Plant is a good one.
And then it's just bleh from there. Jaime Munguia, etc.
So I would say Caleb Plant is one that we could put in there because he did also get the TKO victory in that one. And Caleb Plant was Sweet Hands Plant at that time.
Are any of those definitively better than Errol Spence?
No.
No. Like, Steven, it's a valid point to look in hindsight and be like, yo, Errol Spence may have been drained. He had a long layoff post accidents. His face puffed up. It was abnormal, whatever. And I'm willing to hear you on those points. But to Chantelle's point, leading up to the fight, none of that was in consideration. Like we may have brought up here, like, yo, I wonder if the layoff is going to be a factor. I was backing Terence Crawford heavily, but by decision. Like I don't think anyone picked, or not anyone, but I don't think a lot of people picked him to win by stoppage. I think a lot of people probably picked Errol Spence to potentially win by stoppage because they thought Terence Crawford had a flimsy resume. And this is kind of the theme of Terence Crawford's career. It's like, oh, he has a flimsy resume, and then he gets in the ring and dominates whoever's in front of them outside of Madrimov, which we still thought was a pretty decisive victory.
Let's go back to Steven. The fact that Crawford brought up Postel and Burns as elite says it all. You know what? It's weird because when he brought up Victor Postel and Burns, I was like, why did he bring up those names? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. So Steven, I agree with you there. I'm not saying like Victor Postel was that dude at one point, but like when he did bring up those names, I was like, but why are you not saying Spence? That was the first thing I thought of. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I agree with you, Steven.
Bring up Yuriokis Gamboa before bringing up Ricky Burns, maybe, because Gamboa was like the breakout win. But Ricky Burns, he won his first title against him, and he did it in the UK. So I guess that one. But and Postel was definitely like, they were hyping up on HBO, and they were just doing their jobs, but they were hyping up on HBO like, yo, this is a true like anyone could win type of fight, whatever. It's a unification. And then he just beat the fuck out of him because that's what Terence Crawford does. We have a couple other comments here. Let's see. Joseph says, how is John Ryder an elite opponent? Who did envy Yildirim V? We agree. Like,
Yildirim was kind of like a tune-up though before he kind of went on that run. And I think he fought Billy Joe Saunders on that run. But it was just like a tune-up fight where he was fighting like 4 times a year at that time, which I thought was kind of neat. But yeah,
Canelo's fought a lot of names, but like there's some puff in that resume. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of, and honestly, like the Triple G stuff makes me upset. All of it makes me. I'm telling you, all of it makes me upset. And I just take a look at it, and I know what I saw.
Yeah, like
it makes me upset, dude.
Amir Khan was older, for example,
and his glasses made a chin, like his chin is made a glass. Like, come on.
Shea Mosley was older. Cotto was older. These are all big names, obviously, and like it's just continues. Terence Crawford, as we go, like there's a lot of puff in this too. Like, don't get me wrong, but like Julius Ndongo, he's another guy. Like he has some rank, and people were scared of him before this.
I hate to say it, but like now I'm taking a look at Canelo's resume and I'm questioning things. I think Teofimo Lopez has a better resume than him.
Oh my god!
I think Anthony Joshua has a better resume than Canelo Alvarez.
Well, that one I think people would agree. And look, to your point, okay, so what's a better win, Lomachenko or
Lomachenko? Right? I don't care. Loma in his prime is a better win. Teo's resume. I've said this on the show. Teo's resume is legit. I don't care about L's. We saw what happened to George Cambosos.
It sounds crazy. You brought him up, not me. It sounds crazy because I don't want to say Teofimo Lopez's resume is better.
It is, bro.
He has a great win on his resume, like a great win. Unless you think Lomachenko's trash, which you
when he beat Loma, people were saying that he was pound for pound #1 on the list. Everybody, like I was saying that before Teo like beat him. So I don't know. Listen, I'm taking a look at this resume, and I've got a lot of questions, you guys. A lot.
I also want to say Terence Crawford, like underrated win on his resume is Sean Porter. Sean Porter, I know he retired after. I know he had a few losses to that point. All the losses were competitive. It was Kell Brook was one of them. Keith Thurman was obviously razor thin, and Errol Spence was razor thin. And
that was a draw to me. I
was going to say you had him like very competitive, like very. I had that fight very close. And Terence Crawford is the only one to win a little more decisively, and obviously he stopped them. And Sean Porter, when that was done, it was surprising that he retired. Like it felt like, oh, like he could maybe, but he fought the 2 top welterweights and lost. And he has his faculties. He sounds good on pods and shit. Like he's got his second career. So I thought he walked away at the perfect time. But Sean Porter, I think, is an underrated win on Terence Crawford's resume.
I definitely agree. But guys, drop your comments below. Let us know what you think is the elite win on Canelo Alvarez's resume, because now we're having a discussion here and I want to get your thoughts. And remember, this is a friendly show. Just be respectful. There's going to be some Canelo fans. There's going to be fans like Jesus that's been calling this out for years now. But we do want to see your comments, and we definitely do. It's true. I'm on Team Jesus now. I'm looking at this resume, and I don't think it's elite at all.
We like we like Canelo, but like honestly though, I mean lately
I never thought about it. I'm like in shock right now.
No, because
I never thought about it.
Canelo
exposed himself when he said that to Bud. Now we're taking a look at his resume, and we're like, who's really the phony here?
We'll clip this and be like, Shantelle has a revelation about Canelo.
I'm in shock right now, you guys. I can't believe it. Thank you, Canelo, for bringing this up, because now we're taking a look at your resume, and we got a lot of questions. All right, Bryan, I know we got to quickly move along.
Oh, Steven, I wanted to ask in the chat, because he did mention the Spence, and he doesn't hold the Spence one as high regard. So who do you think is the best win between the two? Is it like one of the Golovkin fights? Is it Austin Trout? Is it Lara? Is it Porter on the Crawford side? Do you think Porter's a better win than Errol Spence? Comment back. I want to see what you think about that. Tyrone says, got a point with Teal, Josh Taylor, Loma. Yeah, the Josh Taylor one also. Like in hindsight, people might try to be like, oh, whatever. And we both think Josh Taylor got a little overrated at a point, but he was undefeated and the betting favorite going into that fight as well.
But even like the run to Loma, like Richard Comey, Nakatani, like the run was crazy for Teo, and he doesn't get enough credit for that. And so I really like Teo's resume. I really like Anthony Joshua's resume as a heavyweight as well. So just